Okay, as you see here, hopefully you printed out the document that's associated with this. But as you can see here, this is, oh my gosh, this circle looks crazy. But it's actually very easy to work with. These guys are all our points around the unit circle. Okay, and I'll move the image around as we work with it. And these guys are for our degrees. In the one that has all the stuff filled in, there's going to be these terms in pi, and we don't have to worry about that just yet. We're just going to work with degrees. I'm going to fill in some of the stuff we know. Hopefully this works and it locks everything into place. Okay, so the first few things that I'm going to fill in are going to be, hey, this guy is 0 degrees, right? And let me change the, okay, I had to change the thickness here. Okay, but this is 0 degrees. This is 360 degrees. This right here is 90 degrees. We've worked with this guy. This is 180 degrees. And this guy right here is 270 degrees. We already know that this point is 1, 0. Shrink it a little bit. This guy is 0, 1. So we've already worked with these values. This guy is negative 1, 0. And we're already starting to fill some stuff in. And this guy is 0, negative 1. All right. Well, now I'm going to start filling in my degrees. So this guy is 30 degrees. This guy is 45 degrees. And this guy is 60 degrees. I don't need to put the degree mark really because it's already listed in the document. Okay, so now we're just going to work with this area right here. And then we're going to look at the pattern. It's got positive and negative, so there's none that are negative and all of them are positive, right? We talked about all students take calculus, okay, and that tells us where all are positive and negative. I'm not going to actually work with that in this video. I'm just going to work with the points listed right here. And so the unit circle has a radius in 1, and remember in all our previous examples, we would draw these triangles and we'd start filling in values. I'm not going to do that in this one because I'm going to get way too messy, but the one thing I am going to do over to the right is I'm going to draw 30, 60, 90 in perspective. And so notice that the triangle that I have drawn would be the same perspective in this first quadrant. Well, I know the side across from 30 is 1, makes that 60, so this is 2, and this is root 3. So if I want sine of 30 degrees, it would equal 1/2. And this same value is the same as the unit circle value for 30 degrees. So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. And so this is our y value and this is our x value. And we've done these in videos. And so we talked about how we get the unit circle value. If we put a 1 in for the radius, it would work out to be the same exact value as what we're getting here. Even though I got a 2 here, radius with a circle with a radius of 1, if we did the same thing, we would get these same exact values. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to look at the fact that sine of 30 degrees is 1/2, and that's the same as my y value. So this point right here is 1/2. And this point is root 3 over 2. I'm going to change the color here because I don't like the black. So let me go ahead and erase this real quick. And this is root 3 over 2. Okay, so I got my first coordinate there. Well, then if I do 45 degrees, I can do a 45, 45, 90. And my sides are 1, 1, and root 2. Well, if I take cosine of 45 degrees, that's going to equal 1 over root 2, which is the same as root 2 over 2. Okay, and then if I do sine, it's going to be 1 over root 2, which is the same as root 2 over 2. So I get root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2. And last but not least, I'm going to do the 60-degree triangle. Okay, so the only difference here, and here's the pattern, well, if these guys switch, what do you think happens with these two guys for this triangle? They're going to switch also. So sine is going to equal root 3 over 2. That looks like nothing, so I'm going to go ahead and erase that. I'm trying to get a little bit nicer. And cosine is going to equal 1/2. That one just looks just as bad. It's the bottom of the screen. And that's going to be, oh my gosh, let's try this again. Let me move that up. Let me erase. Of course it won't let me erase. And that's 1/2. And so remember, my cosine is my x value, and my sine is my y value. So my x value is 1/2 and root 3 over 2. Okay, so now let's move over to the other side of the triangle. What about these angles right here? Well, notice these guys, and we talked about this, these guys are at the same height, right? So they're the same angle rotation. Well, the only difference, though, this is 30 degrees. Well, then that means that this rotation actually to this angle is 150 degrees. This guy was from the 45 degrees, so this rotation is 180 minus the 45, which is 135. And notice the reference angle is equal to our 45, 45, 90. The reference angle to this guy is 30 degrees. So notice the reference angles for all these triangles are going to be these guys right here, and it's going to be the same all along. I should probably silence my phone when I'm making videos, so my wife yells at me because my phone's on silent all the time, and I never pick up the phone, so sorry about that. So that means this other side, well, this would be 120 degrees because it's 180 minus 60, that's 120. So really, all we're doing here is it is a mirror image of these guys. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead and undo that real quick. 1 second. So it's really just a mirror image, and I removed those lines that I drew just to clean it up. So really, this is just going to be 1/2 root 3 over 2, root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2, and this is going to be root 3 over 2, 1/2. Oh, and that's my son. So we got a lot of noises going on right now. But the only thing that we have here, and sine and cosecant are the only positive ones. Everything else is negative. And the quick way to do this is the only thing that I have to make negatives are my x values, because in this quadrant all the x values are negative. Okay? So let's go to the bottom half here. I'm going to speed this up, and we can find our angle measurements just by adding the 30, 45, and 60 to 180. So really all I'm doing for this bottom guy, for each one of these guys, is I'm adding the 30, the 45, and the 60. So this guy is 210, this guy is 225, and this guy is going to be 240. And it is a mirror image of these guys again. Okay, so the ones with the 30-degree reference angles are always going to be root 3 over 2, 1/2. The guys with the 45s are always going to be root 2 over 2. And then the guys with the 60-degree reference angles are always going to be 1/2 root 3 over 2. And then I just have to plop in that negative, and because I'm in the third quadrant, everything is negative. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. So we got 360 here, so I'm going to subtract my reference angle. So I'm going to subtract the 30, the 45, and the 60. So that gives me my angles of 330, 315, and 300. So, well, what was my 60-degree reference angle? 1/2 root 3 over 2. 1/2 root 3 over 2, root 2 over 2, 2, root 2 over 2, 2, and the 30 degree is root 3 over 2, 1/2. And the only thing I have to do is I got to plop the negatives in front of my y values. And that is how I can complete the unit circle. So all I have to do is remember this right here, and I have all of the other angle values. So this is looks like a really complex idea. This is a long video, it's 11 minutes. It's extremely important next year, but as long as we get kind of that connection of these values repeat, you're going to get it down, okay? And so I have the other printout, which is, and there's a printout. When you print this out, you're going to have everything filled out also, so you'll have the solutions with it too. So go ahead and take a look at that. But what I'd like for you guys to do is try and fill this out using the idea of knowing all these values right here. And then I'll do another video, because this is getting kind of long, on how to kind of cheat, if you will, with just using these guys.